Hello, hello, everybody. And just like that, it's Thursday night, 6 p.m., Stampin' Live in the Makeshift Hive with Christine Bertram. Welcome to your Thursday night program. So, hi, everybody. How are you doing? We made it through almost another work week, and I am super excited to say that I do not have any water in my basement, and I do not have to work on insulation tonight after class. Yay. I get to, originally I was going to go work on designing cards for a swap that I'm participating in. And lo and behold, Tyler and I are going to go on a date. All we've been doing is working on the project. So it's time to have a date night. It's not Tuesday, but it's Thursday. So normally date night is Tuesday, and that hasn't been happening. Well, we've been having a lot of dates in the garage. So I'm just gonna tune in here to see if I can find the video, make sure it's working. Okay, there it is. All right, Bonnie's watching. How are you doing, Bonnie? So, yay. Oh, girls, I'll tell you, this last 2 weeks has run me like ragged. Talk about some late nights and early mornings with trying to get everything done with the project and working. Hi, Angela, and just running the stamping part of everything. So, hi, Elaine. I'm glad you got your order today. Yay. So, I'll tell you. Hi, Bobby. For the last 2 weeks, it has been nonstop on the project because Tyler and I we overtook the insulation part. We didn't hire somebody out to do the insulation, and a coworker from work was going to help, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll get this all done in one night." Right. So we started Tuesday, and we didn't make it very far. We got the part of the ceiling done in the garage and the hive. Hi, Jean. And it left all of the walls, about 160 feet around the perimeter, and the two common walls, and the mudroom ceiling. And so I'll tell you, all I've done since Tuesday is basically put insulation in walls and staple it up, and then put plastic sheeting up as a vapor barrier. And I'll tell you, between here and my arm, from stapling about 5,000 staples since Tuesday, I'm not complaining, just saying it hurts. Hi, Arliss. I don't know if any of you girls have ever done insulation, but I'll tell you, wow. So Bonnie can watch for a few minutes. Okay, yep, no problem, Bonnie. That's what's awesome about Facebook is that you can catch the replay. And you can start the replay at any point where you have left off. So that's awesome. So girls, thank you for your patience for me. I try to keep up with the emails. I tell you, I haven't been designing any cards. I've been having classes. I definitely have had plenty of classes since 2 weeks ago when all this kind of started, but the major push was because the drywallers arrived at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and we finished literally at 3 a.m. So we basically went to bed at 3:15 and got up at 7 to go meet with the drywallers. But I'll tell you, we were ready. We had all those seams caulked. We had all the batting in. We had the plastic sheeting up. We had all these weird spots just needing spray foam insulation around the windows, around the doors. We failed the first inspection. So we had to have another inspection at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So deep breath, I know. Whew, thank you for letting me tell you all about that. Virtual hugs, I need a hug. And then it's like, yeah. So anyways, that's what's going on, girls. So we completed the phase of electrical and insulation, which led us up to drywalling. And I'll tell you, it looks pretty awesome now. Never done, Arliss, I know, right? You girls can tell it's like 2 weeks ago I had water in the basement. Last week was insulation, and this week it's finally, we're going to go to Lakeside Park with Herbie Love Bug, my 1969 Herbie Love Bug that just got delivered to my house today from my parents' house. And we're going to go drink some beers by the lake and have a relaxing, peaceful night. So that's what's on the docket. So no designing cards for me tonight. I got to take a break too. But I'll tell you girls, it's starting to look like a room. So awesome. The plaster guy was there yesterday and today, and he's completely got the bathroom, the mudroom, the garage, everything's, we're not plastering the ceiling in the garage, but we're plastering the she shed, the mudroom, and the bathroom. And so it's gonna look super cool. Hi, Jean from Phoenix. Yes, Jean, you're reminding me. I know you girls don't always put where you're from, but I love it when you tell everybody where you're from. I love to see where we reach. And so when I did the mystery card night a couple weeks ago, Kelly was tracking everybody's comments, and every state that you girls wrote, she wrote it down on a piece of paper, and there were over 20 states that we hit for the mystery card night. So, oh, thanks for the hugs, Bonnie. I know, I almost hugged the inspector on Tuesday morning when he came back and he gave me the pass. I was like, I just wanted to hug him, but I didn't want him to think I'm this weird girl that needs hugs. So, but thank you. It's always good to get hugs. So thanks for sharing too, Obik. That's awesome. You girls, I feel like my brain is scatter fried because of all this stuff that's going on, but thank you. Liking, sharing, and commenting. So I'm going to do, after we're done making the 4 cards tonight, I'm going to do the mystery card making night. I have a few bolts of ribbon. So I've got the Misty Moonlight ribbon that I showed you last week. I have, I think there were 87 or 80, almost 90, almost 90 people. Hey, Brenda. There were almost 90 people that submitted cards. So I'm curious, Brenda, I mailed your cards out on Tuesday morning. Did they arrive? I checked the tracking yesterday and they said they should arrive today. So I'm hoping you got yours. I know Jody got hers. Bobby, I'm afraid that yours probably didn't, because when I checked the tracking yesterday, for some odd reason, it was still in the post office in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And I mailed them Tuesday. So I would have assumed that they would have been in Michigan already by then. But yeah. So yeah, anyways, hugs, inspectors, all that good stuff. So, so you girls are awesome. Thanks for always listening to me tell you about my she shed, hive, all that's going on in there. So after the plastering and the drywall, they're done this week, we are going to we're going to blow in insulation in the attic, because we were advised that it's good to do that before you paint. And so next week starts painting. So yay, 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 yay. So exciting. I got in touch with my Amish guy, and he's looking to have the cabinets ready about the middle of August. So yay, I cannot wait to send you girls pictures when this thing is all said and done, or like mostly done. So, all right, we got California. I saw Vermont. I saw Texas. I saw Michigan. Oh, wow. Hey, Kathy. Nice that you could join. Thank you for joining. So yeah. Whew, okay, so we were talking about mystery night though. So after we're done making the 4 cards, I'm going to announce the 3 winners for the monthly cards from last week. I have 3 lucky winners that were drawn for that. And then I'm going to do a live drawing using my random number generator, because my cousin Kelly helped me with a list of everybody who submitted cards. And we're going to do a random number generator for that. And then also for those people that shared the video last week and I could see that you shared it, sometimes you have private pages or have like privacy settings, so I can't see when you share it. But there were, I think, 12 or 13 people who shared it, so I'm going to put those people in for a drawing. So oh, hi from Tampa, Florida, Susan, yay. Okay, Kathy's from Iola. I was near Iola a couple weekends ago, Kathy, and I thought about surprising you with a visit, but I didn't want to do that to you. So we visited Tyler's mom up in Wapaka, and I think Iola is like just a little bit further past there, so yay. Okay, girls. So what we have tonight, we're going to get the ball rolling, because I told Tyler I would wrap it up around 7:30 so that we could go on our date night. So we have the Celebrating Sunflowers and the Jar of Flowers bundles that we're going to be concentrating on. And the suite is called Flowers for Every Season. And there are 4 cards, and I just want to do a call out. I have a few of the online attendees that are watching tonight. Angela's on. Mary and Jennifer, I believe, will be watching. I don't see that they've checked in yet. Oh, sorry, Brenda, they didn't arrive today. Okay, well, you get to watch, and then you will know how to put the cards together, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. I've got Bobby's on here. Dar's going to be watching, I bet, in a bit. And then Brenda, you are. Angela, Jody, and Barbara placed an order last week. So I threw in a set of cards for her because she placed it during the event. And then Wendy Kruger. So yay, thanks to the 10 of you for taking the online class. I also had 11 plus 7 sign up for the in-person classes. So it's a relatively big class, but I did make extra kits. So something to keep in mind for tonight, that if you're watching and you're interested in a set of the card kits, I do have 4 unaccounted for, like unspoken for. And if you place an order tonight, like I normally do, if it's $35 or more, I'll send you the set of kits for free as a thank you. And also if you do a $50 order, you get a bonus day coupon. So keep that in mind while I'm going through the cards tonight. So I'm going to flip the camera down though so that you can see what I've got going on for tonight. We're going to make these cards. A lot of these cards feature, hi Chris, you got done doing the lawn. That's wonderful. It's a beautiful night for it. So a lot of these feature the new ink colors. So Marva, what is it? Magenta Madness, Just Jade, and the Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider, and the Bumblebee. So all 5 of the new ink colors are really represented in this class tonight. And you can find the flowers for every season in your annual catalog on pages 10, 11, and then 12 and 13. And so when I was designing cards for this class, I wanted to do 2 cards with this bundle and 2 cards with this bundle, so you girls can get a real feel for what is involved with the stamps, and that you can try the paper, you can try these mason jars. So that comes with both, this week comes with both bundles, the DSP. And so this DSP is one of these. I made these these sheets so that you can see like the back and the forth of all these pretty flower patterns. And then there's actually a poinsettia pattern, there's fall patterns, there's spring patterns. So that's why they say flowers for every season. And all the ink colors are representative, plus white and poppy. Just another note, I pulled in some of the ink color assorted paper, this Magenta Madness one with the polka dots. I did pull that in for one of the cards with the lemonade. And then we didn't use everything in this suite. There are a couple of things I didn't use, but I did use the mason jar shaker domes and the ribbon and the gems, and most of the blends got used. I didn't use the Memories and More card packs or the envelopes in any of the cards here, but they are a really awesome tool. That's what's used in some of these cards here. So just a note, if you don't have this annual catalog, to let me know. I provide catalogs to my customers free of charge if you place an order with me in the last 6 months. So I'd love to get one in your hands. But this is what we're going to work on tonight, girls. So magenta, jade, and the Misty Moonlight. So I think I'm going to save this one for last. It's the most labor intensive. And we're going to work our way up to that one. And I'm excited to show you some things with that. I think what we'll do is start with, which one should we start with? I don't know. We'll save the shaker one for towards the end too. And let's start with the lemonade. How about that? So for those of you at home, you will have gotten, if you did this online class with me, you'll have gotten all these paper parts here. I have to disclose, girls, for some of you that I mailed your kits to earlier in the week, I forgot this little guy right here. I completely forgot to put this little punch here, because when my sample card was up on the board, my flower had fallen off. And so when I was looking at the sample, I didn't remember that it was there, and I found this on the floor later on. So there are maybe a half a dozen of you that didn't get this little blue flower. So this, I'll talk about it, but hopefully you have the punch. And if you have a different flower, you could always put a different flower, or it will look good without it as well. All right, are we ready to go? Here is our smoky slate base. It measures 8.5 by 5.5. It's your traditional card base. I did not score mine. I'm not as nice to me as I am to you. I score all your card bases, but I don't generally do it for myself unless it's a vertical card. So make sure to grab your bone folder and burnish your edges so they get nice and crisp. And what you have in your kit then is 2 pieces of Whisper White. And those Whisper Whites are your traditional mat, 4 by 5.25. And when I designed this card, I made them the same size so you didn't confuse which one went in the inside and which one went on the outside. There's absolutely nothing you need to do with the outside mat. It just is a layer. And if you like to save paper, you could definitely cut out of this, like with a die, and save that, but I generally don't do that with these kind of layers. This is the Magenta Madness, And this one is, I think, let's see what it measured. I lost one of my slips here. This one measures 3 13/16 by 5 1/16. So when I do that, I have a little bit less of a white border showing than if you would have gone down a whole 1/4 inch. So this then, everybody who got the kit from me, I have embossed it with the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. And that is part of the In Good Taste suite of products. So I pulled that in. It's a really one of my favorite embossing folders after Subtle. Subtle is awesome, but I think I like this one even better. This one just has a little bit more texture to it. So that is prepped for people who got the kits from me. What you also have in your kit is a stitched circle. And this is cut out from the In Good Taste designer series paper. And this is the one that's got all materials in it with bricks and woods and cottons, different fibers things. And I've already cut out your stitched circle. And that comes from the Stitched Shapes set of dies. And it is the largest circle that's in there. So that's ready to go for you. Then these are the vellum doilies that are in the catalog. They're pretty cool. They're thicker than I thought. They actually have a lot of structure to them. And you're wondering, wow, okay, that's not what she has on her card over here. Well, that's because I cut off the corners. So I really wanted myself to have a circle doily. For some reason, I had it in my head when I designed this card that I wanted it to look like the lemonade was sitting on a doily on a table. So, and I didn't want a square doily. So what you have to do for those of you that are following along at home, you just have to follow the edge. Hi, Bonnie. You have to follow the edge of the doily here and just make it into a circle. So you want to be good with your edges so that they don't have harsh edges. So I'm trying to round as I go as well. So when you're done cutting off all the 4 corners, you're left with more of a circular pattern versus a square pattern. Another cool one is if you'd cut off this other outer edge area and you'd end up with this as a cool background. So for those at home, you can go about cutting off your corners of your doily, and then so that's ready to go. For those that got the kits from me, I can't do stamping. So what I have done for you is I provided for you a jar. So this is the In Color paper with the Magenta Madness, and the punch is the jar punch. And what I've done is I punched out everybody's jars. Now, if you have the jar set at home, you can definitely see through this because it's a photopolymer stamp. And I did stamp mine in Smoky Slate. So the color that I have here is Smoky Slate. And what you could do at home is just ink it up and then just hover over the top of your jar and you'll be able to stamp right on it. But that's what's awesome about these photopolymer stamps. So if you don't have this jar set, it's okay, don't cry. You will have a beautiful card without having, there's just a little bit of line action going on there. So you just won't have some of those lines. Or you could wait, hi Mary, hey Pamela. You could wait and purchase the jars and then you have it. So, but that's how I did my jars here on my card. So that's ready. In the kit, you will also have a little baby bow, and you will have, you're really tardy. Well, we just started, Mary, so you're good. So the ribbon, oh, I forgot to tell you this, girls. There are 2 different types of ribbons. Where are they all? Here they are. So the 2 ribbons that come, oh, it's a 3-pack. So it's a ribbon combo pack. I only used 2 of them. I used this one on the one card with the shakers, and this is Baker's Twine that's intertwined. It's white and the Misty Moonlight. So those are the 2 ribbons that I used on this. So everybody has a piece about that size and then a little baby bow. Some of you who picked up your kits because you did porch pickup, because I remembered it before I put yours out for porch pickup, you will have your little blue flowers. For those that I mailed your kits on Tuesday, you will not have your little blue flower. I'm sorry. The other thing in this set is this stamp set. Let's see here. Where did it go? There is a straw here. And this is the jar of flowers. So we're going to be using this, these different jars here. And then here is a straw, actually. So what's what's unique about these stamps is they are reversible. So you see the straw here has lines, and then you see that it has a solid image. Oh, let's go like that. So what happens is this one has the lines, and then what you do is you flip it over and you have a solid image. So you can use the reverse of the stamp, and that works for both the big jar, the little jar, and the straw. So one of the tricks I have for putting on a long skinny stamp like this is you want to put it flat on your work surface. If you try to put this on, you end up potentially getting it crooked. So one of my pieces of advice is to put it flat. It'll naturally want to take the shape that it has, which is straight, and then just set your block gently over the top of it until it sticks. And then you can press it down, and that will help to get that image straight on your block. So everybody who got the kit should have a piece of white paper. Now, if your white paper, if you don't have this stamp, that's okay. You could just put a solid white straw. Just cut about a 1/4 inch by about 2 inches and just put a white straw in your lemonade, or vodka lemonade, whatever it is. So now for those that have the stamp at home though, you could definitely go ahead and use your smoky slate ink and stamp that on your white scrap that I put in there, and you will have to fussy cut it. There aren't dies that go with this set. This only comes with a punch. It's the jar punch. It does come as a bundle, so you save 10% if you buy both, but there are not, unfortunately, dies. I would be ecstatic if Stampin' Up! Came out with dies for all of these flower pieces. Oh my gosh, and the straw, that would be so awesome. Wishful thinking though, I think. So what you'll want to do is get your straw, and the straw is super long. So actually I've used half of the straw here, and then I saved the other half for my card. So that's a little bit. And then you've got another piece of white that this measures 7/8 by 4 1/4. And I have the end here banner punched. And so I have a banner it's banner triple punch, I think. So, but you only want to, I think in everybody's kits, I punched yours already, and I just punched off just a little bit of it. And it makes it that it's still a little too long, and I'll show you how to put that together when we get that far. Okay, so I have a sentiment on here, and it's let's celebrate you. And so we're gonna go ahead and stamp that. Now, if you don't have this, use any long and skinny stamp that you have, and I'm sure that you will be happy with that. This Let's Celebrate You actually comes from the other bundle in this suite called Celebrate Sunflowers, and that's where we're going to make the other 2 cards with. So you could even cut the piece from some of the striped paper. Oh, absolutely! Arliss, that's a really great tip. If you have any striped papers, you could definitely cut out a different straw from that. Awesome. So when you stamp here, I'm going to stamp closer to the right-hand side here so that it's closer to the bannered end. And I'm trying to get it as straight as possible. We'll see how this works. Oh, Sandy, you've been using it as a decorative line design. That's awesome. Great idea. All right, so here we've got the Let's Celebrate You. So that's the only, well, you know what? I think I'm actually going to stamp the inside for you because my sample here, look what I did here. As long as I've got the Misty Moonlight open, might as well do this, right? So I decorate the insides of my cards, girls. I like to have them matching. So let's grab the inside here. So I'll show you how I did this. So the jar is in Smoky Slate, and I'm running out of room here. So let's get the Smoky Slate, and we're just going to stamp the jar near the bottom here. And then we're going to use the straw. And the straw, though, if you look at this, the straw is a lot longer than what I want it to be. So I am not going to ink up part of the bottom of the straw. I'm going to probably leave like the last 3/4 of an inch off of it. So you can see here that my straw is a little bit shorter. And so what I'm trying to do is line it up so that the straw hit the bottom here. And then I didn't have such a long straw. Hi, Denise. Then our water. So girls, if you want to make yours yellow, you could, because you could I don't think I have Bumblebee down here. So my little nook where I'm stamping isn't normally where I have all my stuff. So I'm have to do water. I wish I could make it yellow because I would make it like a vodka lemonade. So this is the little baby stamp, And I'm noticing that it fell on the floor. So hang on, I got fuzzies galore on it. That rhymed. Fuzzies galore. It fell on the floor. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining. So when you put this on here, though, you want to put the bumpy side facing the block so that you end up with the smooth edge for stamping. So ink that up, and what you're going to have to do is stamp off, because that's super dark. That's first strength. And now what you're going to do is get the second strength here. And so that makes it a lot softer looking versus that. You wouldn't have been able to see the straw. Now, if you had Bumblebee, I definitely would have done that at second strength, or Daffodil Delight would have looked really cool. You could have definitely made a vodka lemonade. If you know people who like vodka lemonades, this would be the perfect card for them then. So, okay. Now we're pretty much ready to assemble this card. So let me show you how I did that. Let's get that out of the way. So first things first, the inside. We got that one down pat. So a little bit of glue along the edges of this, not too close to the edge because you don't want your glue to ooze out. I know some people have issues with glue, using glue. They don't like it. It's because they get glue everywhere. So you just got to be careful not to get it too close to the edge. Yes, I need the ice cubes. You're right. That would be really cool. All right, then on this one, the Magenta Madness is ready to go onto the white. So a little bit of glue. And with this embossing folder, if you were wondering if there's a top and a bottom to it, honestly, I would say no. Both sides look pretty much the same to me. So I'm going to put this on the front here. And so that, let's get the card up here so we can see. So that's set. Then my white border, or my white banner here, you can see I have it going to the white edge. So the little tails here are hanging off slightly like this. And when I do that, it makes it hang over a little here. So what I'm going to do is just flip this over, and I'm going to grab my paper scissors and use the white base as a guide just to trim off the little excess overhang. So I had my banners here hanging out slightly. Now, how I put my banners down, I like for them to be raised and dimensionalized on the bannered side, and then I like to put them flat on the other side. It just creates a different type of dimension for me. So what I'm going to put this on here, I'm going to have it go to the white edge, and I'm going to try to make sure to get it on here straight. You have a little forgiveness with the liquid glue if you need to move it. Yay, I got a heart. Thank you. All right, so I only put a little glue through here, so that still allows me to sneak this guy down in there, okay? So to put my vellum on here, you can see that the jar covers up this area right here. So what I'm gonna do is take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just gonna draw a line right there. And that's really all I'm going to do to put on the doily. And I want to make sure that I have this going up and down like that. So it's okay that there's glue. You see that my finger's sticking here? There's glue coming through. That's because your cup is going to, your lemonade jar is going to go right over the top of that. And I put that flat. So I'm going to just flip this over, put a little bit of liquid glue back here. And then make sure that you keep your glue so that you can have it underneath the jar. Then this is going to tuck right behind here. I have it slightly like right at the left edge of the white margin here. Okay, so just like that. And then we have to remember to put our straw. I almost forgot about this in my directions when I wrote them. So you got to get your straw on here. So I'm just going to actually take a little bit of tear and tape, and we're going to put that on the back side of the jar where the straw was going to go like that, I think. So we'll see when we flip it around if it's in the right spot. All right, let's get that off of there. And so now when I cut my straw out, the top of it is what has the little white edging, and then that was the bottom. And I know that's really probably something really minor, but it's something I noticed. And so now we've got our straw hanging there. Then what I would do is take a little bit more tear and tape, and it's just enough to fit along the back here because we need to wrap this blue and white, or the Misty Moonlight and the white Baker's Twine around. So we're gonna go twice around here, and you might have just enough, I'm hoping, to do it twice. You should have enough to do it twice, and then you're gonna catch it right where the tear and tape is. And then, just for good measure, I'm gonna put another piece of tear and tape right over that, just so that it doesn't get sticky on me. Now that provided a little bit of dimension, but I want to add more dimension to my jar here. So I'm going to pop this up a couple more dimensionals here, a few more. And I'm not going to worry about putting dimensionals at the top here because this is pretty bulky with that ribbon wrapped around there, that it's about the same height as my dimensionals. Now when I designed this, I wanted this jar to sit right in the nook of the Let's Celebrate so that it kind of just nestles right in here like that. And then when you have, this is the small bloom punch. I think that's what it's called. It was a free item during sale. Oh, there you can see me, hi. There's a free item during Celebration, and then they brought it over to the annual catalog. So again, for the people, I apologize that I mailed on Tuesday. I didn't give you this, but hopefully you earned it free during Celebration, and you could punch yourself out a little flower. And what I'm doing is taking my bone folder and just curling the edges of the flowers. I love my flower petals to have dimension. And so what I'm gonna do is take a mini dimensional and we're gonna put that off to the one side, and because the jar is already popped up. So what I'm trying to do is put a dimensional for it to be right next to it. And then on one of the petals over here, I'm gonna put a little bit of liquid glue. So again, it's dual adhesive going on, and so the adhesive is going to be on the petal that's hitting the jar, and then the dimensional is going to be right next to the jar. Okay, so we got that ready to go, and our little bow here is going to get adhered on with some glue dots. So I would say it's over on the left hand side of our jar, and I'm putting it right over the top of the wrapped around ribbon. And my tails are going opposite directions. They're just flying every which way. And I might just leave it like that. Somehow I got that bow to go straight down using my bow maker. By the way, girls, I got another lot of the bow makers. I have about 15 of them left, and they're only $5. So if anybody needs one, let me know. If you're not local, shipping is usually only $3. So you get a bow maker for around $8 or $9. So we're gonna leave our little tails like this and just go with it. So I am going to trim it just a hair though, here and here. Okay, so far so good. Then what we can do is put a little bit of liquid glue along the back side of this one, this layer. Now for those that are taking the class with me, the online class, I did email the PDF tutorial on my lunch hour. I ran home for lunch and I emailed it to the 10 of you. So hopefully you got it. I know it was a little bit short. I normally try to get it to you the day before, but I tried. It's been a little bit of a hectic nightmare around here. Everybody's got 3 of the rhinestones in their kits. And so I put the biggest one in the center of the flower. And I think you actually probably, I think I gave you 2 small ones and a large one. So I have one up here and another guy right next to it. So add some bling to the card. Hi, Chris. And don't forget Stella, girls. She is your friend. So I would definitely, this little flower here could get a little bit bedazzled. Hi, Jody. I hope you're doing good. Are you getting up north to the cottage? I know you love spending time up there. So there's a little bit of Stella action. Bonnie, you're proud of me, right? I got one thing Stella. So Bonnie would Stella the whole thing somehow. I know she would. Oh, I know what Bonnie would do. Bonnie would take and Stella the entire doily. So I'm not going to do that, but just know that if you go lightly over this doily, you'd get the doily very pretty. So it's not like it's not pretty the way it is, but Stella always makes it prettier. Okay, girls, there we go. We got our vodka lemonade card done, or our ice water card. So how did you like that one? Now, just if you don't like the pink, like if you're not a magenta fan, you could definitely do this in Just Jade with a Just Jade jar. You could do, and then a pink flower. You could do any color pattern here. So just the options are endless. Oh, thanks for sharing, Mary. Oh, Jennifer, hey girlfriend, I got love, yay. Thanks, girls. Okay, so there's one card done. We're gonna go into another easy card. So this layout, I love the layout. So if you don't like the color pattern, or if you don't like the DSP, think beyond that. If you girls are stampers and ever participate in swaps, this layout is a pretty easy layout. And I had done this card for a swap, but using different paper. And for the class, I wanted to use this pretty tulip paper. So adult lemonade, yes, please. I definitely agree. So this one I'm featuring Just Jade with, this is actually just one sentiment on here, girls. I kept it relatively simple. So for those that are doing the online class, if you don't have the Thanks a Bunch, which comes from this set, you could use anything that you want. So I did use the Thanks a Bunch. So I'm going to, hang on. Yes. So Sandy, that's what it's all about, getting ideas. You don't have to copy things exactly, but just to get some inspiration on a cool layout or, hey Dar, thanks for joining in. Just to get a cool, an idea for a cool layout is always a fun thing. Oh, Sandy, you love swaps. That's awesome. I have 2 swaps that I need to design like by this weekend, Sunday. I have to have 42 cards in the mail by Monday. That's the plan. So back to here. So we have our Just Jade. Oh, I think that Just Jade and Misty Moonlight are my 2 favorite Newton colors. So your girls, hi Tony. You girls are probably going to see a lot of that from me. All right. So this card, let's tell you what it's all about it. When will we be doing adult lemonade in the hive? Okay, Jennifer, that is a very good question. We could do it any time now. Honestly, I feel like going in there and having a beer right now after what we've been through for the last 2 weeks. Oh, yes, maybe I should do that. But yes, we can have adult lemonades in there anytime. If you're in the area, you let me know. We'll plan for that. So our Just Jade, hey Judy Immel, you're on your lunch break, yay. So, Just Jade, it's traditional. It's your 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Use your bone folder, burnish the edges just like that. Okay, set that aside. In your kit, you'll have a piece of Whisper White. The Whisper White is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, if you're wondering where this little guy came from, I pulled that from, drum roll please, Forever Blossoms, I think. Nope, I didn't. Oh my. Okay, so there's the $1 million question, girls. Oh, I wonder if I wrote it on here. Oh, I lost that card. So I lost the Just Jade card. Jennifer, you might know. I don't remember where that flower was from. So I actually went upstairs and I thought it was from Forever Blossoms. So I actually am going to use Forever Blossoms, because that's the flower I grabbed. So we're going to stamp from Forever Blossoms on the piece of Whisper White. Well then, I must have stamped it already. So we're going to have to think about this. Maybe, Arliss, you know, I can't think of where that flower is from, because it's definitely not from the sunflowers. And I already stamped my inside. So I don't, look at me being a very proactive person here. So we don't need to stamp the inside, but for those of you at home, stamp your inside. If you have a tulip set or if you have a pretty flower set, the stamp set for the small bloom. Oh, okay. I don't know what the name of it is, but yes, I don't, oh, does that actually, that doesn't fit in there though, does it? Oh, well look at that. It sure does. So what's the name of the stamp set, Jennifer? I didn't know that fit in there. I learned something, I think. Okay, well, very cool. So stamp a flower in the bottom corner, so you have that. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining. Okay, girls, so you know how much I love the Tasteful Textures embossing folder? I love it so much that I designed 2 cards in the same class using the same folder. I very rarely do that. I mean, I've done it before with the subtle embossing folder, but now I've done it with this one. So that is already prepped for you. The measurements on this one are 5 by 3 3/4. Thanks for looking, Jennifer. So that's ready for you. Then you have a piece of Designer Series paper, and this does come from the pack of the jar paper. So I tried to pull in some of the DSP. This is a little bit of what the sheets look like. They're very monotone with yellows and greens and some browns on this side. But then you flip over to the other side and you get the wow factor with all, there's the tulip one. You get the wow factor. So I had to open up another pack after the fact. So when I did the prep work for this class, a couple of you got a different pattern flower, but it's all the same colors. Oh, Basket of Blooms. Good call. I do own that set, obviously, since I used it to stamp the card. So some of you may have a different pattern that's very pretty. it's got all the same colors, so it's going to look very similar. So this piece was 2 inches, and I made it 2 inches so that it would fit right inside the triple banner punch. And what you'll do is just banner your end. Do not, so I banner punched everybody's, but word of caution, when you're at home doing this, make sure you don't banner the top of it. You want to banner the bottom. So that's ready to go. Then I have another piece of Designer Series paper from the Jar of Flowers, or the Flowers for Every Season. This measures 3/4 by 3. And this is a little bit of extra color. You can hardly even see it, but it adds to the card. It's right underneath here, and it's a little bit of polka dotty. So that's ready to go. And then for you at home, I used Magenta Madness. I was going to say Marvelous Magenta. Magenta Madness to stamp Thanks a Bunch. And actually, Deanne, it's a basket of blooms, but Thoughtful Blooms also matches that punch. You're right. So stamp your sentiment on here. So this is from the Stitched Rectangles dies. It is one of the smallest ones, not the smallest, but it's this one right here that came from. So I die cut everybody's out for them, and that will go here. Now, these are the leaves from the Celebrate Sunflowers dies, and those guys, where are they? Right here. Hang on, I'm trying to grab them. So here are the dies. So we haven't really talked about these yet, but the stamp set is the bundle with these dies, and they have 2 leaves here, a single and a double. And what I've done for everybody is die cut out the double using just jade paper, and the single using a back of a design, one of the Designer Series papers that's got a green pattern to it. So it looked kind of cool. It gave it a little bit more texture. Okay, so everybody's got their leaves, and then I've got some Magenta Madness ribbon. You'll have a piece for putting across, and then you'll have a little baby bow here for on the front. And then in your kit, you'll also have some of these in color dots. And they are finally off of, they were off of back order, so I finally got more. I don't know if they are back on a back order, but these are all the in colors that match this whole lot of the color family. So, all right, we're ready to assemble. So let me show you how I put this card together. So we're gonna start off by putting our banner onto the Just Jade base. Now, what did I just tell you about how I like to do my banners? Look at this. I used the banner punch twice in one class too. I like to put the bannered part so that it is dimensionalized on the bottom. If you and your banners have little tails hanging like from the paper, from the punch, just cut them off. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the bottom and then a little bit of liquid glue along the top. And so I've got that about a finger width away from the left-hand side, and I'm trying to make sure it's flush at the top. And once I have it flush at the top, hi Sue, once I have it flush at the top, then hold down your dimensionals so they stick. Next, Terran tape. We're going to put Terran tape on the back of the Just Jade piece to help secure our Magenta Madness ribbon. So I'm going to eyeball this one, and it's going to go right about here and right about here. So I generally never put adhesive on my ribbon under when it's like in the front of the card. I always just tuck my tails behind. So in some of you, I got a little bit short. My mom cut the ribbon and she cut them just a little bit. So you might have like, some of you might have about that much to tuck over. So it'll still work. I promise you it'll work. You just gotta be good with it. So you have your tape right to the edge. See, I showed you there, like just that amount. You can still get it tucked onto your Terran tape. So you want to make sure that you're straight with the Magenta Madness ribbon. And then I like to make my ribbon sandwich. So grab a little bit more Terran tape. Thanks for checking on that, Deanne and Jennifer, about that flower. I really threw myself for a loop on that one. So then tear that off. All right. Now you're probably worried like, oh my, we got to get this in here. Don't worry. Now you're going to grab your adhesive. Put a little bit more liquid glue. You do not need to put glue where the Terran tape. Oh man. Okay. So for those at home, I did pop mine up and I just realized that now. I did have dimensionals back here. So if you, hi Becky, if you haven't put this down yet, like I could go and put dimensionals, but I've already glued this, so I'm going for it with glue. It's like past the point of no return. So we're just gonna go flat with it. So the reason I popped up my sample is because I liked the border being raised up because it creates a shadow so you can actually see it. So with this, when you have it glued flat, you get less of that shadow. So it still looks good, but I just like that shadow. We are going to get rid of this, so let's glue this in so it keeps falling, so it doesn't keep falling out on me. A little bit of liquid glue, dot dot, not a lot, and that can just get adhered. So the glue allows me to wiggle this around until I get it exactly where I want it. All right, now this piece right here, because I didn't put any adhesive on the front of my ribbon, I can tuck this. If you are one that likes to tape behind your ribbon, you should have put this down first, but hopefully you didn't do that. So what we're gonna do is flip this over, and thanks for sharing it, Sue, I appreciate that. Just put a little bit of liquid glue along the back edge of the DSP. And then when you slide this in here, just be careful that you don't get the glue slid all over the place. So I'm gonna eyeball this. I have about a good 1/8 on the bottom, and it's like there's less on the bottom and there's more on the top. There's how I've got that. All right, now we have leaf action going on. So I took my tear and tape, and this is how I attach things to the back. Oh, I used up a scrap, good. So this is gonna go along the bottom edge here, like this. And I'm going to secure the one leaf first, and then the double leaf second. And I'm gonna just have them hanging at different heights, like that. And now what it's done is it's stuck to the tape back here. So they're set. I don't generally try to glue leaves on here and then get it to look right. I put them onto the backs of labels, and then now what I'll do is I want my label popped up. So I will put dimensionals on my label. I don't know how many, just a few though, more than a few. We're gonna put 5 on of these little guys. Okay, so get that prepped, and they're sticking to my thumbs, or my one thumb. Okay, so now that's popped up, and that's gonna rest right so that you can see the ribbon. Now, if you don't like the way your leaves are going at this point, like mine I just noticed are going that way, you can still adjust them and have them go a different way. So I like that now because my bow is still gonna go up there. So I'm trying to allow for a little bit of polka dot on the side here, and I'm gonna go right there with it, okay? Next, grab your little baby bow. It's the In Color ribbon in Magenta Madness, and grab yourself a glue dot, and I'm gonna put that glue dot right in the center of where my leaves come out. I'm gonna look at my bow. There's usually a front and a back. Where the knot is usually the back. Bobby, have you used your new bow maker yet? Wait, I just mailed it to you, didn't I? You don't have it yet, sad face, sorry. That's right, I just mailed it to you on Tuesday. I'm curious, I was gonna ask you how you liked it, but you don't have it yet. Sorry to rub that in, but you will have it soon. Is your mail in Michigan getting any better? I've been thinking about you and your mail. Oh, I noticed Mary, I don't know what it is with the post office, but I gotta tell you girls a story. I mailed Mary's kits for her for monthly class last week, Monday to her, and they arrived Tuesday of this week. So it took a day and a week, and I mailed these cards to Mary on Tuesday, and they arrived on Wednesday. So one shipment took 8 days, and the other shipment took like basically 1 day, like the next day it came. So, all right. It hasn't gotten much better. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so I'm just trimming my tails of my ribbon. And then I use, did you see that? I put a glue dot underneath each of the tails. I like my tails to come down versus go all whichever way they want to go. And last on here is what I have are the In Color guys. So I just randomly gave everybody 3 different colors because almost every color is represented in here except for cinnamon cider. I don't think I gave anybody cinnamon cider, but I'm sure I gave some pink ones out to people, and I gave green ones out, and I have the blue ones. So everybody's got 3 of those, and I see the hearts coming through. You girls must like it. So think about the layout. It's a 2x5 banner. So you get, like, you're maximizing your DSP because it's 2 inches. So you could get 6 out of you could actually get 12 out of a 12x12 paper. And if you have a 6x6, you can get 3. And 1 sentiment stamped, 1 little die cut, some embossing, adding some embellishments, and a ribbon. And oh my gosh, my little guy came off of there. Oh, here it is. Okay, all right. I have to show you this, girls. This happens. Some of you have had class with me and this has happened, and I don't know if you can see this, but that is the top of the little in color gem here. And they want to fall off. Oh my gosh. I don't like it, but that happens. And so what I do when that happens, thanks for all the love. You girls are liking this card. That's awesome. So think of all the different color combinations you could do with it. So what I did is I put a little dot of liquid glue right on the green part. And then what I'm going to do is just squish it. And it makes it look frosty green. So it's not exactly as clear as it once was, but the glue will dry clear. And so that is how you salvage when those come off. If you get a pack and a lot of them do that, and you get it from me, let me know. If you are your own demonstrator and it happens, you call Stampin' Up. They shouldn't come off like that, but I did notice that my earlier ones have been doing that. So, but if you can find the clear thing, you can see that it looks just fine when you put a little bit of glue and it's stuck now, it won't fall off. So, all right. There we go. I gave myself a round of applause because I saw so many hearts come through, so I did it. I did it anyways. All right, so 2 cards done. All right, we are gonna do the shaker card next. How does that sound? All right. Okay, shaker card. Let's think about this. So, very, very pretty. I did case this idea off of somebody's page. I don't remember who it was, but I did case not the card, but I cased how she did this part. Okay, so that's where the money is here, girls. I'm going to show you how to do that part right here. We are going to start with a magenta base. I always want to say Marvelous Magenta. If you girls have been around as long as I have, Marvelous Magenta was a color back in the day. So 8.5, 5.5. Fold it in half. Oh, magenta is such a bright color. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, get your bone folder out. Burnish your edge. Set this aside. You don't need it quite yet. Then you have your piece of Whisper White, 4 by 5.25. And I can't find where my inside is, so we'll just stamp a jar when we're doing the jars on here. Then everybody in your kit, you have a piece of Just Jade and you have a piece of Whisper White. Now, these are the stitched rectangles, so I use the stitched rect a 3rd time here. I use the other one, now these 2 I use 3 of these. So, now, there's nothing you need to do with this right now, so we're going to set that aside. This guy right here. I didn't know what to do for the girls that got kits from me because I don't know if you have the jar or not. And it's really important to have the jar, but you could get by without having the jar. You could improvise. I know you can. So for those that got kits from me, I didn't know if you had the punch or not. So what I did do in your piece of paper here is I went in your kit here and I went and I pulled it up so that it was just close to the bottom here, that you had a little white, and I punched out your jar. Okay, and I thought that was okay because these are photopolymer stamps, so you can still work with it easily. So, but what I'm going to do is how I would do this if I had the stamp set at home, the order of how I would do this. And I brought a scrap just in case I mess up. So, all right, the ink that we're using is Pool Party, and when I cased this card, the lady that did this bottom part the way she did it is how I did it. She explained she wanted her jar looking like a mason jar, like that bluish mason jar look. So this is how you get it. Pool Party at first strength. And so for those of you like that are coming to the in-person class, this is what you're going to do. Now, if you got the online class from me and you don't have the jar, I would recommend you have the punch. You could take a light blue marker and you could just draw the outline of the jar. But for this, what we're going to do is stamp the jar in the center and about 1/4 inch, not quite 1/4 inch from the bottom. Okay, so there's the outline of the jar. Now what happens is clean your stamp, and you got to flip it over so you have the full solid part of it. So you're going to flip this around like this, and now it's the solid image, because you remember with these you can reverse them. So ink this up. Now when you have a solid image like this, you have to be super careful to make sure you have it adequately inked, because if you have it thicker in one spot and no ink in a spot, it's going to look very obvious. So with this, you really want to get it inked nice and good and even. And you're going to stamp, I'm going to find a spot on here that doesn't have any other ink, because I find that if I stamp this off on the jade, it will pick it up over here. I promise it will. So what I'm going to do is stamp off really good, nice and even pressure, so that the majority of the ink comes off. And now I'm going to go at second strength, and I'm going to stamp my jar right over the top of it as best I can without going over like on The Price is Right. So you're going to be getting second strength in the jar. So now that is what makes it look like a blue ball jar, with that bluish look to it. All right, so that stamp is done for right now. So let's clean it before I get something in it. Then what we're going to do is shut this and grab Garden Green. So you can see that there are some stems. Part of this set, there are these stems right here. So you have your 4 flower tops, your stems, the straws, a little lid actually, and half full and full. And our stems are right here, and making sure that the rough cut bottoms go to the bottom. So that's going to go near the bottom here. Don't worry about them not coming all the way to the top. The ribbon's going to help cover that up. So I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top, somewhere in the middle. Okay, so you've got your stems stamped. Now, if you do not have a stem stamp like this and you're at home doing the online class with me, get a marker out and draw some stems. Freehand that stuff. It's okay. So yes, Jennifer, you could use I'm not done yet. You could definitely use the Pool Party Blender. Oh no, I got a mad, sad face. I don't know why. You girls, you gotta tell me why you give me these frumpy, frowny faces. Oh, I don't know what I say, but yes, go back to your pool party. So what Jenna or what Dara is saying, you could use a Pool Party Blender on the inside of the shaker. Yes, you could color it with a blender pen. Perfect. What I thought you were getting at, Dara, was coloring this. So in my card here, you can see that it's got the ball blue on the top, but then it looks like there's actually water in here. So okay, and I have to tell you, I have sad news. I can't find the brand new water painters that Stampin' Up! Came out with. So I don't know where I hid them. They're hidden somewhere in my house. So I had to go and revert back to the previous version of the aqua painters. So what I did is grab your aqua painter, and I squeezed the color into the cover of the ink, and I'm just going to put little bits of blue to make it look like there's water in here. Don't forget to go in between the stems as well to get it looking like there's water in between. So I'm trying to go about halfway to make it look like the jar is half full. Don't be afraid to go back and get ink when it's running out, because it will eventually, you just need to go back and get more water. More color. All right, so there. So do you see what happened here? It made it look like there's water in the jar. So you want a little more color, just go back and get more. So now with the aqua painter, you have to clean it out before you go to the next color. And I'm actually going to do the same kind of effect with the Garden Green. I'm not going to use a marker to color these in, because if I use a marker, it looks a little dark. So I want it to look a little softer. So, and I'm going to have to do all these really quick because we're putting this card together and I can't leave this coloring for last. Where was in the plastic shaker piece? Couldn't you have stamped the half before the stems? Yeah, you could. You definitely could, Jennifer. You could have stamped the half before the stems. You definitely could have. It would have made underneath the stems a little bit darker, and that's okay too. Yeah. there's definitely, as the saying goes, there's definitely more than one way to skin a cat. No offense to anybody, but that's the saying. There's always different ways to do different things. So I'm just showing you the way that I put this one together. And I thought about stamping that half of the one, but when I design cards for a class like this, I can't use the same stamp lots of times because I usually only have one set. And when I have class, one table is using the stamp and then I have to like steal from one table to give to the other table. So I generally try to only use a stamp once in class within a class. So, all right, so this is what I did for the stems. You can see they just got a little bit of color in there. All right, so done with the garden green then. What Jennifer was saying is you could have taken the solid part of this and stamped that right here. And you could have, definitely. So I chose to use aqua painter. And I noticed on here too, hang on, hold up, wait a minute. Let's put some little more pool party in it right there. Cool. So now that we have that colored, what I'm gonna do is pop this out with the punch, and the paper is just wide enough that I can hold it on both sides to get it to punch where I want. All right, so there's our jar. Here's this. Next, what we have to do on here is stamp our flowers. If you're at home and you have the set, you can definitely use, no, you can't definitely use these because those might go higher. You'd have to be careful not to use one that goes off the page. So I definitely used the one with the flowers, and I'm using my Memento ink pad. Ink it up good. And in this case, I'm inking with the stamp upside down because I can put more pressure with the ink pad. And this is gonna get stamped right over where the hole is for the jar. And just try to center it left to right as best you can. Could you use the half jar image to stamp on to it? Yes, yep, Sandy, you definitely could. That's exactly what Jennifer just said too. You could definitely put this on and stamp it on there. It would have a different look a little bit, that when you use an aqua painter, you get a watery wash look to it. So it would still look good doing that as well. So there's that. What size was the Whisper White? Though it doesn't matter what size the Whisper White is because you're going to be cutting it out with the stitched rectangle die. If I had to guess, like if you don't have the stitched rectangle and you want to do this, oh man, it was like 4 by 2 3/4 maybe, 4 by 3-ish, something like that. And then whatever you use, just have your Just Jade mat be just a little bit bigger. All right, so we've got that stamped. I think that's it for now. Okay, coloring. I'm not gonna color the whole thing, but I'm gonna show you how I would color, because some of you probably have never used these blends before, and using blends is really cool. And the other thing here is I grabbed my garden green marker. So, oh, Purple Posy. I don't think I pulled Purple Posy. So I'm gonna show you this. So when you use blends, you get the varying tones or shades, and so I wanted to show you, in this case, there's two different, when you get a combo pack of blends, there's a light and a dark, and I generally tend to start with the dark, and I go and shade the darker image first, and then I go back and follow with the lighter image. Now the blends are alcohol markers, so they do dry out. If you like leave the covers off for extended periods of time, they will dry out. And you don't want that. You would cry and be sad, so we don't want that. So right now what I did is I didn't color over the top of the dark. So what I do though when I color with blends is I bring the light into the dark and I cover over the dark. And that's what helps to do your blending and shading. And the more that you do coloring, the more that it's going to show through the back. And I've often heard that the more that you have on the back, the better that your front should look. So that means that you blended and you gave it a lot of good color. When you use blends, you want to make sure that you give the marker time to soak, the ink to soak into the paper. They're not a marker where you want to wash back and forth really fast. You just give nice and slow, give it time to soak into the paper. So what I've done now is I did the middle dark and then brightened up the edges. Now, in this case, for this flower over here, I didn't want to have any color, any tones going on. I wanted it to actually be all dark. So in this case, I'm just taking the Marvelous Magenta dark one, and I'm going to color the entire thing here. So I just wanted a solid one that was dark. And then there's one last flower, and that flower is up here. And what I did on that one is I did a little bit of yellow, actually. Where's my yellow? Right here. Oh, oops. I put yellow in the middles of both of these to give a little color. I'm not going to get any yellow really in there now. Oops. If you're at home, put a little yellow in there. It really makes it pop a little bit. And while you're at it with the yellow, I put these little doohickeys. I made them yellow. So I've got a couple different yellows. This is actually light mango. It's light mango and dark mango, actually. And they make for really good sunflower colors. Okay, so there's that. I'm not going to finish coloring all that. This last one, what I did is I put a little bit of the dark near the center of this yellow, and I just kind of went around the edge like that. Magenta, am I saying it wrong? Oh, man. Magenta Madness, Marvelous Magenta. It's magenta. So you can see what I did is a little bit of darker, and I think that's supposed to be a little bit of flower. We're going with it. And we're going to go like this. And now, it's hard to see in the camera, but there is a line going around that. And to get rid of that line, you take that light marker and you just go right back around it until it disappears. And then I did a little bit of a light one here. And then I went back on this one right here, and I did this one dark. Now, if you don't have these blends at home, by all means, use whatever colors you have. Color with crayons, color with colored pencils, color with aqua painters, color with whatever you want. With the leaves, I'll just show you a couple here. I generally like to take the darker and do a vein with the darker. So just doing all the veins like that. And then I like to go with the lighter version and go over the top of the vein. And it makes it so it's darker in the middle of the leaf. So I like to do that with my coloring for leaves, just like that. And make sure you go over the dark, because that will help to make that line disappear. Okay, so just like that. And then there's one over here. Now, I did not bring my purple posy down. I forgot it. It's upstairs. And I don't know what these things are called, but I remember my mom used to have some of these in a floral arrangement, and they are always full of dust. And they always look dirty because they were dusty. So I made mine purple. So whatever those are called, you girls might know what they're called, but I don't remember. So I'm going to wait, and I can always color those at the end because I can come back and color them purple later. So that's why I got that colored. And so just pretend that those are purple, and we're all good. Now, assembling this. This is probably what you want to know how to do. So these little shaker mason jars, they come 10 to a pack. They're $6.50, and they come in a little plastic bag, so they're protected, and they're all nestled inside of each other. So what we're going to do is grab one of them. And sometimes they're staticky, and they get little particles stuck in them. If that's the case, get a dryer sheet, or I'm wiping on my shirt. But there's a wax paper on the top, and there's a wax paper on the bottom. Don't get assembly happy right now. What we have to do is we have to make sure we get our little ribbon secured underneath. So grab your pokey tool, because your nails work, but I'll tell you honestly, the pokey tool works magic the best. What you're going to do is get that pried underneath and pull this paper, whatever it is, waxy paper off. In my tutorial, I wrote waxy paper. I think waxy is a word, right? I just made it up otherwise. So now that makes it sticky. You can see it's sticking to me. Then everybody has a piece about 2.5 inches of this Just Jade gingham, and this is going to go over, center it over the top of the jar, and you're going to squish it. Are they Lily of the Valley? No, I don't think they are, Kathy. Kathy just privately messaged me asking if they were Lily of the Valley. These are those, they were like discs, and she had fake ones, so they were plastic, but they were like flat discs, and then they were all kind of stacked on top of each other with a little space in between them. So I don't know what they're called. My mom might know. But so this ribbon is going to stick to where the edge is because it's sticky like that. Okay, so you're securing your ribbon over the top of the jar here. Now, what happened though is we lost our stick here and we want to get that back. So grab your tear and tape and little pieces for this. Oh, you know what? Glue dots would work too. Let's do glue dots. That might be easier. So grab your glue dots and put one of them. I would do actually 4 total. So put 2 of them on each side so that you're adding adhesive right back to where the ribbon covered up the adhesive so that you still get a nice secure fit. So grab your glue dots, put your glue dots right over the ribbon so that they stick. Good. Eucalyptus! That's it, Dar. You got it. That's eucalyptus. I maybe should have made them green. Yes, Randy. Yep, you're right. Eucalyptus. So you've got this prep now. So here's what we do next. This piece is going to get nestled right over the top of it. And just make sure you kind of got it even. And it should fit right over it. Just like that. Okay? And it's great because now we have our ribbon. It's tucked behind the back. And it's secure. Now, depending on where your hole got punched. So I may have punched them a little bit lower. If I punch them a little bit lower, part of this is going to, oh, Kathy, it's okay. They look like Lily of the Valley from where the video is. So part of this may be over the edge. If that is the case, take a little bit stronger of a scissors and you're going to trim that little bit off. Now, I just happened to punch that up just so that it was not going over the edge. Now, but at home, you might put it over the edge. So this is getting ready. Now, if you notice right here too, my flowers don't quite have connections to them. And on here, what I've done, you can see right down there, I drew in some lines because I wanted it to make it look like my flowers had stems. So you can see there, I'm just drawing some, and it's just me being a little bit picky here because otherwise my flowers seemed like they were floating through the air, like floating midair. So there, I grabbed a green marker and just drew a couple stems on there. Now, we're getting there, girls. Okay, this is where the magic happens. This little guy, he should be dry by now because he was a little wet. And the trick is now getting this exactly where we want it so that it is nestled properly. So here's what we're gonna do. It looks like it's gonna go right about there. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just putting a little bit of glue right where I thought it was supposed to go because I kind of hovered this over the top. And because it's liquid glue, we can wiggle it. And I think that it needs to go right here. So that looked good. So you want to make sure though that you get glue near the edge. So that's green. I might have said something wrong. I think you girls know what I mean though, right? If I say blue or red, but yes, the green. So I glued that flat. So now what's going to happen is I have that just basically nestled. And that's all you're doing is putting this piece onto our Just Jade piece. And that's going to fit right there. Okay. So you're going to glue this piece down. Now, this is where if you want a Stella, you got to get this in here now before we button this up. Okay, just like that. And let's prep this with some gems. So these gems are part of the suite of the product suite, Flowers for Every Season gems. And when they're flat, it just made it look like the stems are sitting in the stones here. So girls, this was the kit that you need to be very careful when you opened up because I had all of your gems kind of tucked in your mason jar dome in the back. And you have maybe about that many. I don't think, if you wanted more, you can always add more if you have some at home. But I gave everybody about that much, so they kind of filled up the bottom. So don't sneeze now, because if you sneeze, these are going to go everywhere. So what you have to do is take your pokey tool, and you want to take off the bottom piece of this waxy paper. So now you've got the adhesive here, but you need adhesive everywhere else. So this is where you could use your tape runner or you could use your liquid glue, but you're definitely gonna glue a little bit more. Stella dries pretty much instantaneously, Kathy, like super fast. So now while you're putting this down onto the Just Jade, you just wanna make sure you get it right because you can't move it around much after that sticky part from the jar dome goes down. So something like that. Okay, did I forget anything so far? I'm hoping not. That guy goes there. Okay, so again, remember I gotta color that, but so now we've got our little gems in the bottom here. I popped this up so that we had a little height. Yeah, that's a good call, Jennifer. If your Stella is heavy and like you've just like put a lot on, it could take a little bit longer to dry. But if you're hardly hitting it with the Stella, it will dry really fast. So I'm putting on 6 dimensionals on the back of this. And this is just gonna make sure your card's facing the right way. And then this is going to get adhered to the front. It looks like a picture frame to me with this kind of matting. All right. Then our baby bow. So everybody in their kit, I made you a little bow, and that's gonna go off to the side. So grab your mini glue dots and put one of them right on the left-hand side and make sure you get the back to it, and that's gonna stick to it. Now, if you're looking at it, that's what I mean when my tails go every which way. If you like that, you're done. If you don't like that, grab a couple more of these glue dots. I'm going to put one flat right on the top like that, and he's going to go like that, and then I'm going to put one on the bottom and get him to stick. Okay, and he's going to go like that. Now I'm also going to, my top bunny ear here is going out of the sky here, so we're going to put one back here and stick this into it and then pull that up like that. Sorry girls, I love to make my bows look perfect, and then once they get into an envelope they get squishered. So there's my little cute bow. Take your ribbon scissors, you can trim the tails like that. And everybody also had some diamonds are forever and a girl's best friend in their kit. I think that everybody got 3 different sizes. I can't recall correctly, but I think I put a small, medium, and a large in there. So I'm going to put 2 there and 1 up there. And booyah! There we go, girls. It's not done because I forgot my purple posy marker, but I can always finish that another time. I just wanted to show you a really cute way to show you how to use the jar punch and put the shaker card together. What do I do for, oh, I forgot to do my envelope, or my white inside. What I would do on here is, this is what I would do on the inside. Let me show you. So we have here, not the jar, but the flowers. We're gonna grab this, and if you want the inside to match, take the same flowers and you're going to stamp. Just watch me. This will work, I promise. You're going to stamp that in the bottom corner, and you've got like a little foliage bundle bouquet going down there, and you can color them the same that you colored the outside. So you got your magenta, your purple, and your yellows. So that will look so cool because when you open this up then, it'll be like that, and you can put whatever sentiment you want on the inside to make this card honestly whatever you want it to be. It's a very all occasions card. It could even be a sympathy, it could be a thinking of you, a thank you, I don't know, could it be a wedding? I don't know. But yes, lots of options with this card right here. So whew, we did it. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so we got 3 done. We got 1 more to do, girls, and then we're gonna do some drawings for our mystery night. So last but certainly not least, and I don't think this guy's the hardest by any means, this is actually a fun fold. It's got a little pocket in here for a white piece of paper. That's your inside. So let's show you how to do this one. Yeah, everybody doing okay so far? All right, so let's get this guy out of the way and bring in the kit. And I want to show you something special about this one. So I talked about adhesive sheets with you a couple weeks ago with the Christmas in July class. And I didn't have them to show you live that night, and I didn't want to run and get them. So I want to show you how they work tonight. So I have 3 leaves. I've got a cinnamon cider center, and oh, thanks, Arliss. I appreciate that. I cut out the cinnamon cider center for everybody. Everybody's got 3 Just Jade solid leaves and 3 of these dies, the detailed one. And then you've got the bumblebee and the outline of the daffodil delight. Now, I did not make your kits with the adhesive on the back like I did for the Christmas in July class. Girls, you'll have to forgive me because I had a lot of stuff going on this week with this project that I couldn't have squeezed in 2 extra hours of doing that because it was a lot to cut these little buggers out. I had to run these through 6 to 7 times on my Big Shot for this to actually get to be the point where it came out. So yeah, that's how that works. So I was not about ready to go putting adhesive, but I want to show you how this works because it's important, because with this kind of stuff, it really makes a difference. Because when you can put, so this, what happens is you're making yourself, oops, there it goes. You're making yourself a sticker. And so this, hi Karen, thanks for joining. You're making it into a sticker so that when you go to adhere it onto this bottom piece, it sticks. And you don't have glue all over the place. Oh man, I should have Stella'd that first. But yeah, so it might be best to Stella if you want just, oh, let's just do the whole thing. There you go. Now it's all good. Because I was going to say, you could just Stella the darker green, but it's good to Stella the whole thing. So what I want to show is how this works. And I should have here, let's see here. I should have had here another piece of green here. So this is a piece of paper. Oh yeah, I'm so excited for it too. The countdown is on. So the scan and cut and emboss machine. Oh, there's my sheet. I was looking for this. There it is. That's from the Just Jade one. So these are the adhesive sheets. They come, I think, 12 to a pack, and they're 6 by 12. So what you can do is pull out a sheet. And what's nice about these is they have not a perforation. Hey, Kathy, but they have an area that you can peel them, because otherwise if you try to go from the side, it's not fun at all. But what you want to do is measure about the area that you need and cut a piece about that big. So we're gonna do the glue scissors. Oh, there's my nail file. We want to grab our glue scissors because this is working with adhesive. I'm gonna cut it just a hair smaller, and then I won't risk going over the edge. So, and I'm making it a point to make sure I get my seam here. So there's a seam. You can see right there's a seam. So cut yourself a piece of this, and what you'll do, now when you peel this back, the sticky ends up being on the piece that comes off, not here. And this now is all gooey, and it's sticking to my finger, and I gotta be careful because when I pull my finger off of here, it's going to stay sticking to my finger, and you end up with glue on your finger. Oh, you really do. You get full of glue with this, but it's worth it. And now what I'm going to do is put this piece right here, and I notice it's going to hang over an edge, and I don't want anything hanging over. I promise you, you don't want stuff hanging over. And this potentially does make your Big Shot get a little bit gooey, so you got to pay attention to that. So what I'm going to do is put this piece right here, and it overlapped a little bit, but I think that'll be okay. So now what happens is you're going to run the die. So for the girls like Brenda, you're going to be getting this kit. I did not do this step on your card. If you and you already have it die cut, so you're going to have to glue this with a little bit of liquid glue or tape. So now what you're going to do though is, and I've already prepped this one, so we're going to run both of these at the same time. So hang on, let me get my Big Shot so that you know how this works. Okay. Okay, so I've got a magnetic plate, a really loved bottom plate. You're gonna put this on here, and then we're gonna make this guy fit over here. Now these are very detailed, and you just added a piece of wax paper, and you just added some glue. So you're gonna have to run this through a few times. And I'll tell you, it does require back and forth. And you have to do this so it cuts through the paper. And what I generally do as well is, now I've done that a few times, I pull this off and see what it looks like. And I try to see if it cut through it. And if it cut through it, then I'm good. Where's my little guy here? So this, okay, you can see they're falling out. So I'm going to let that one, I'm going to let that fall that way. And now I'm going to check this. I'm going to go from underneath here and I'm going to look at it. And it looks like it's cut, but it's not. I know it's not. So I just twisted it and I'm going to run it back through the machine like 3 more times, just for good measure. So hang tight. I know the camera might be a little bit wobbly because I'm shaking the whole table here. Okay, I'm going to do one more here. And then I'm going to check the back of it. And as I'm picking it up, I'm grabbing from the bottom here. And I'm going to see where I'm at. Okay, so you can see these starting to pop out. That's a good sign. But I'm going to do, oh, that one fell. I'm going to do one more. I just don't want to have to pull the Big Shot back out and have to go through this again. So I'm just going to get it good. So, oh, you know what? I should have done one more leaf here too. I lost my little die. I could have sworn I had another leaf in there, but he may have disappeared on me. So we're going to get this one out of here. What if you flipped the die upside down? Is that what you mean? I think upside down. So I generally keep my cutting into this bottom plate and keep this other one on the top smooth so that it doesn't get the goo on it. But the girls are like, okay, we've seen enough die cutting for our night. I generally try to have everything die cut ahead of time, but I wanted to show you how this works. Okay, that should be good. All right, we're taking our chances, girls. We're going to pull this out of here and move this over here. Let's get this out. So let's see what we got here. So this is pretty much ready, and these guys are falling out, so let's take him out of there. This is what I'm a little bit, okay, see, now, if it wasn't done and cut all the way through, it wouldn't have come out that easily. So, the other thing, too, that works really good is I have this little foam brush, and I don't know if they're going to come out so good, but we're going to try it anyways. So this goes into the foam, and it helps to push the little pieces out. So it did it for some of them. Generally, it falls out a lot better. So let's, and the other thing that happens is because you're making yourself a sticker, it wants to stick together. It really does. So if you want to, you could Stella all this, but for the matter of time, we're not going to do that. What is a healing mat? Oh, Angela, you're asking that. I think a healing mat is one of those mats where you can kind of like cut into it and it doesn't cut it apart. Somebody else might be able to better explain that, but look at this, girls. So I'm pulling this off of here, and all those pieces are going right into the garbage. And there's also some dots here that I want to get rid of. And I'm going to just, they're sticking to my finger actually. Look at that. So this actually worked out good. I'm so excited. Okay. I didn't do this on the other samples. So we can't forget to put this guy though in the middle because we've got stick on there. That should stick on there. The hardest part is lining up this. And you know what? I actually got it. I think I got it right away. So I always look for these hookies. I call them the hooker teeth. Like, okay, I said that really bad. They look like hooks and then they look like teeth. So they look like hook teeth. How about that? So because I just made myself a sticker, I've already got adhesive on here. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you see how easy that was? It like just stuck and I don't have glue all over the place. I love it. Okay. Can you tell I'm excited, girls? I didn't do this yet. I'm just doing it live for you right now. So this is another one. We're going to take this sticker off and that just all peels right off. And if you want, Stella it first, but you girls all, I'm not going to Stella. I can Stella later. So look at that. Now that's stuck and they're all sticking to my fingers here, but look at this one. Oh no, another sad face came through. So we're going to do one more right there. That, look at that. All those little pieces stayed on that waxy paper. I love it. Oh my goodness. So who doesn't own this yet and who needs to buy it? Because it saves all, look at that. I didn't even have to put any more adhesive on it. It's all ready to go. Boom. Love it. Okay. All right. Now have I sold you on this stuff? So let's see what we got here. Oh man, I did not score this. Okay. We're going to like pretend here. So this, this is supposed to be scored at 2.5 and 6 3/4, right? That's what makes, like that's that. So I didn't score mine. So that's why I said I'm going to pretend. So I'm going to pretend that this is about 2.5. Oh shoot, I've got to do it right. Hang on, because this is important business here. You guys are going to laugh at me. I don't know why I didn't score it, but we're going to eyeball this and go with it. Okay. I'm going to hope that's 2.5 because this mat right here, this is 1.5 by 5 1/4. And that should give it just a little bit of a mat there. So, okay, we're going to go with this. We're going to see how it works. And we're going to burnish the edges. So, for those of you at home, your cards are definitely scored at the right spot. So now what I'm going to do to figure out the other side is, hi Julie, I'm going to line this up with that edge. And I'm going to just test it real quick to see if maybe that'll work. It'll be close enough for us. That goes down and then burnish your edge. Let's hope that our yellow piece fits in there. Oh, it does really good. Okay, life is good. So that's how you improvise, girls. All right. So I could have had it just a little bit more on the bottom or on the top, but that's how it goes. This piece right here, if you see, where am I going? Right here. That is with the ornate dies, ornate garden embossing folder. So everybody's got theirs. Oh, this would look really pretty. So you girls were asking about Stella pen. So this would be really cool if you went over the tops of this and you just hit the, you can see what I'm doing. It turned it just a little bit sparkly. Yep, just a little bit. So you could go over that. So what you're going to do is adhere this mat to the bottom edge of your blue Misty Moonlight cardstock. Is it adhesive sheets or sticker paper? So it's adhesive sheets. Oh, let's look. It's right here. They're called adhesive sheets. But in essence, what they do is they make a sticker for you. So if you're wondering, so if you go to your index in your annual catalog, adhesives are on page 162. Oh, I just passed them. And they're right here at the top, adhesive sheets. And you can see they have this wreath here is what they did it with. So it helped to really stick the wreath. The adhesive sheets work really great for very detailed dies. Oh man. So I don't have the DSP here. So you know what? I have this pack of paper right here. And I have a piece right. Wow. This is good. And I have a little paper trimmer here. This is 2 and, what is it? It's 5. Oh, so I'm going to have to guess on this. So it's 2 3/16. So 2 and 1, 2, 3. 2 3/16 this way. There. So I don't know why I don't have my designer series paper in my kit, girls, but this one's a hot mess for us. So, oops. So this is actually 2. Hang on. We got it right now. So this is actually 2. This is what happens when you think you have it all together and you don't quite. So we have 2 by 5 and 5. 2 by, yep. So there we go. So we're going to have to figure out about where this needs to get cut. And we're going to guess right about here because I don't have, yep, that's good. That works. I don't have it doesn't go out to 5. So, all right. So there's your DSP. That measures 2 by 5, in case you were wondering. And the piece underneath it is Bumblebee. The Bumblebee is 5 3/16 by 2 3/16. And then that's going to get glued right onto the top half of the fold with some liquid glue. And that, we're gonna see how good I did with this. Oh yeah, it's all right. That works. So there goes that. Then this is a pocket card. So what I did is I put just a little bit of glue, girls. You do not want to use a lot here. If you prefer to use tear and tape, you can. But you see there, I have just a thin little layer. You don't want to risk it oozing out or oozing in, okay? So you're just creating yourself a little line of glue there. Oh, yeah, you just told me it's date night, so it's 7:30. Yep. Slow and steady wins the race. I know. Tyler said he was going to leave work at 7:30, so I still have about 15 minutes, and he's always late the way it is. So you wanted to make sure that you don't put any glue coming out the edge. This piece of paper is actually a 5x4, and then that will slide right into your pocket like that. Okay, so far so good. Now, this little strip is a scrap. And it's like a 1/2 inch, and it's really long. So for those of you who got the to-go kits, you got a really long piece like this. And what you're gonna do, if you look at it, half of it is seen here, and then it's just, it was a way to get a sentiment on here. And I did banner punch your ends, and this is gonna go right along this pretty much bottom edge of the DSP, and it's gonna come out, and it's gonna get snipped off right at the yellow here. And there wasn't really a good way to do this except for kind of eyeball it and then just snip it like that, and then it'll go something like that. And it hangs over just a hair, so you're just gonna do a little bit more, just like that. Okay, so this is a great way to use up your scraps like that. For some reason, I didn't want it to look like just, so if this was just on one side, I didn't like the way that looked over there, so I added it all the way to the end like that, okay? So that's why I have that long strip. Now to put this on here, I'm gonna put a little bit, again, just a little bit, dot, dot, not a lot, just a little line of liquid glue. I'm not gonna use a dimensional on the end of my banner this time, girls. I know you're probably wondering, well, I thought you said you always banner. Well, in this case, I'm not always. So it goes all the way to the end of the yellow, and you're just securing that. I've kind of got like the middle of the banner comes out the middle of, or like it comes out to the point here. And just secure that. And then when you open that, you have a nice solid white line right here. Okay, just like that. Now, our flower. Oh, it's so awesome that that worked like that. Now, what you have to do is be careful about the flower here. You are going to have a leaf that's showing here like this. So you want to be careful you don't put it more adhesive where it doesn't need to go. So this guy, this is going to go something like that. And this leaf will come out like that. So what I'm going to do is hold this in place where I want it and squeeze a little glue in there like that. That's how I'm going to secure this little one like that. Now my sunflower is going to get dimension. Oh, man. Hang on. Hold up. Remember what I just said? We got to be careful that we don't. That's going to go like that. Lucky. Look at that. I'm good. Now, if you girls at home, make sure you don't put your dimensionals in this area here because you won't be able to open your card. So now I know I have to stay above that imaginary line right there. Okay, now this is going to go like this, something like that. Now this leaf, you know, Jean, you want to Stella your flower at home, but I wasn't going to Stella all of this for you girls because of what Angela just said. I got a hot date with my boyfriend tonight, and I haven't had like a non-working on the project date in like 3 weeks. So in the essence of time, and Angela called me out on it, and she's really funny. She's like, yeah, you're rushing because you got your date night. And so it's very true, yeah. So I'm not going to Stella right now. You girls at home, you should Stella your flowers though. It's like one of those things of don't do as I say, or don't do as I do as I say, right? So make sure to Stella your flowers at home. They gotta be completely honest with you girls. You can't hide it from you. So that one's gonna go there. And did you see what I did? I put a dimensional between the flower petal and the stem. And because what I'm gonna do is put another dimensional right there. Now this last guy, I'm gonna wait and tuck him in at the end. So let's get this down here. You girls are funny. I can't get anything by you. On a normal night, I would Stella the heck out of it. Can't lie. I'm going to put one more over on the end of him right there. Okay, so I'm not forgetting about that other leaf. I just want to get this down here. And I'm not going to squish it flat right away. I want to make sure I'm still good with my dimensional there. And now this one, I'm just going to tuck him. So I'm going to put a dimensional on the end. And I'm going to put a little liquid glue at the bottom. And then that's going to tuck in right like that. And I kind of put it so it's partly over the white to kind of blend that in. And there we go. See, we're getting there. What's left? The gems. Stella and the Gems. That sounds like a band, right? Stella and the Gems. All right, so pull out your gems. And what I did to adhere these, I put a dot of glue here, a dot of glue there, and where's my other one? Oh, right here. So I tried to stick 3 or possibly 4 gems in your kits for you that are doing this at home. What works great is take your pick tool. That will pick up your gem and place it. You gotta get it to not sting to the putty. Well, that didn't work so hot. It didn't want to come off the putty. So get it off the putty and then press it good and it'll stick down. I tried to give everybody like a green one for sure. 2 or 3 green ones. We're going to put a bigger green one there. Now, here's what I'm going to try to do. It's like dissecting. I'm like a doctor right now, dissecting with gems. That's how I feel. Okay, there, scalpel. And then we're going to do another green one over here so that we can see some green. Okay, there, that worked better. Whew. Okay. You always want to shut these guys up. Hey, Julie. So, Julie, disclaimer, I mailed your DSP sampler today. Thanks for sharing. I was a little tardy. I told you I would do it on Monday, but I did everything I could to get it out today. So, it's out. I'm so excited. All right. I think we did it, girls. How do you like this one? One last thing, though. What you would do here on this, I would, in this Celebrating Sunflowers, there is a beautiful sunflower. And I would stamp that down here in the memento. And let's do that real quick. And I'm afraid that I'm going to get ink on me, or on the table here. So we're just going to grab just a scrap piece of white. And we're going to put, which way should our leaves come out? That way or this way? I'm going to go this way. Okay, so we got a flower in the bottom corner. And now, this is where these colors come in handy. Grab your yellows, grab your browns, and grab your greens. These are all the new, these 2 are the new in colors, and then I got mango. These will color them in really, really pretty. So, okay. That is our inside, just like that. That was a really juicy ink pad, so I will make sure it's dry. So that will go in here like that. I'll squeeze that. So the more that you put glue in, the harder it is to get your white piece in there. But that's how we got that one, our last card. Woo, we did it, girls. All right. Did you have a favorite? I'm curious what you think. So we did that one. We did that one. There's this one and the vodka lemonade. Did you have a favorite? Which one did you like the best? I'm curious. I always like to ask that in class. Which is your favorite? And everybody always has different answers, but a lot of the times they say all of them. And a lot of the time they always have a favorite. So I'm just curious. So I'll be giving away some of these cards next week to those that participated tonight in the not only the class, but also who were engaged with me throughout the night. So that's awesome. So, whew, girls, I made me do work up a little sweat here. So that's what we've got for the jar of flowers and the Celebrating Sunflowers bundles. It's the Flowers for Every Season suite. Oh, Mary likes all of them. Good. So, oh, sunflower. Good. The shaker. All of you are going for different things. So when I design cards for a sweet bundle class, which I do monthly, I always try to incorporate as many of the dies and as many of the stamps and the ribbons and the coordinating colors, the DSP. I try to coordinate everything into it so that you get a variety to see if you like the product. So it's kind of like a try before you buy type thing. So, okay. So I promise you that we're going to do some drawings. So I will move these out of the way, and then I'm going to flip the camera down. First of all, I will announce the winners. Oh, girls, look at this. I knew I had a leaf. I was looking for that. I knew it was around somewhere. So, all right. So we're flipping it down, and I have from the monthly class that I did last week. Thanks everybody for the nice comments. I appreciate that. So we did the monthly class last week, Thursday, and we made these 3 cards. Oop, I gotta hide this. Made these 3 cards. And so, drum roll. Brrr, I did some drawings, and by Arliss, I have Yolanda Espinoza. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I know Yolanda is correct. Espinoza. So you are the winner of the dog card. Drum roll. Brrr, and Wendy Ellison, you are the winner of the weed card, the dandelion card. Drum roll. Brrr. The Whale Done card goes to Julia Gregory. So I'm not sure if any of you girls are watching, but I will go back to this class and announce who the winners of these cards are. So I will be putting them in the mail once I get some addresses. So congratulations to those winners. And so I'm going to show you the cards that I made and Kelly made. So this was my mystery card, girls, if you were wondering what it looked like. So in this case, I colored my stems with a marker, very solid, and they would have been a lot prettier, softer. And I kind of cheated, not really, but I didn't use 1 stamp. I actually used, must be like 3 stamps here. So I had set a bigger, larger, skinnier stamp, and I changed it up a little bit too. So, but this was my gatefold card, and here's that sunflower colored in the middle, like I just stamped on that last card. So this is my mystery card, and then this was Kelly's. So Kelly made this card. This was from Country Home, and she didn't do her inside, but this is a very pretty card using the Verdant Garden and then Country Home and that. I love this white flax ribbon. So these were our mystery cards. In case you were wondering what they look like, we'll post both of these on the event for the mystery night, so that you guys can see them. Again, that was meant to be fun. It wasn't meant to like be crazy, like stressful. So I have here. Let's grab my phone. So I had a list here that I kept. Oops, I don't want to go to my text. So I have here. Oh, that's work. We had, let's see, we kept track of everybody who submitted Mystery Night, people who submitted. So what I did is had Kelly help me make a list. There were, look at this, that many people. 87 people posted cards. Some posted up to 3 cards or 4 cards. So I put everybody's name in once for sharing a card. Girls, it was so awesome. And it was so inspiring to see all the different beautiful variations of a similar card. And I hope that everybody loved seeing them as they come through. If you didn't get to see them, all you have to do is go to the event page, which is in the past events for the Cards by Christine page, and go to the discussion. And the top post is in the comments. There's like 300 some comments because Kelly and I went through and we commented and we thanked everybody for submitting entries. So you can go back and see all the awesome cards. So what I'm going to do is flip this back down. There's 87 people, and I'm going to be giving away 3 rolls of ribbon. So my only rule here is that I always like to share the love for drawings. And so I random number generator. So if somebody gets their number drawn for like multiple times, once you win, you've won. So let's go back here and look. We had 87 people. So I'm putting in here random org, 87 people, and I'm going to click the word generate. And what's going to happen is it's going to tell me number 28. And we go back here, number 28. Congratulations to, drum roll, Jackie Alvarez. If we have these names butchered at all, we apologize. So Jackie, I will be posting your name too, but you get one of these. Let's go back here and we're going to generate another number. Number 51. The winner for 51 is Lisa Wiltsey Malachinsky. So let's see if I said that one good. And then lastly, we're going to do one more. So she gets one of those. And then we're going to do number 76. Number 76 is Sherry Main. Girls, I'm not sure who all of you are, but this was like the most exciting class ever for me. We had over 150 people watching throughout the entire night. And just for good measure, we'll do one more. I have one more here. So we'll do one more for somebody here. Number 50. Oh my gosh. Let's see who number 50 is. 50 is Lisa Pettit or Petite. I'm not quite sure, but Pettit. So you four are the winners of the different, I had 4 Misty Moonlight ribbons. So thank you for sharing your submissions. The next mystery night, I believe I have it on the calendar for, I don't know if I have it written. It's like, I think August 31st. It's the last Monday in August. So now we're going to do another drawing though, because I said I would do another drawing for people who shared. Okay. So it's hard. If you don't have your settings set up that I can see that you share it, then I won't ever be able to put you in for the drawing unless you come back and tell me that. So I could only physically see that 12 people shared it. So what I'm going to do is random number generator for this, and I'm going to show you, I'll have a prize for you. So we're going to go back, I'll flip this down. So we have 12 people for the share. So let me write the share is 12. All right, number 6, and let's see who number 6 is. Jay Shante! Yay, Jay, awesome. So Jay, you are the lucky winner I have here. I have some metallic pearls for you. They are silver and they are gold. So that will be for you. So pearls. All right, yay. And then on top of it, oh my gosh, girls. So there were so many people. I told you there was about 150 people that were watching, and I was jotting down names like of who was watching and commenting, and I jotted as all the names that I possibly could down. And sometimes if you just view it and you don't comment, I don't always see that either. But I did another random drawing for people that just commented, and I had done a drawing for those, and I wanted to announce who those winners are. So Kate Poppy and Pam Newhauser and Kathy Jackson. So the 3 of you also won prizes. I have here what I have for you. I can show you. So I got my camera down here, and I don't know. Oh, I lost my thing. So hang on. Let me just see if I can flip this down. And there it is. Okay, I hit a button. So the 3 of you, I had these prizes for commenting. So I'll work it out with you about who gets what. So we'll work that out. But so that I had was Kate Poppy, Pam Newhauser, and Kathy Jackson. So I tried to give away some prizes for you girls for participating and sharing cards. And I just appreciated the support that night. You girls are loving the mystery card making night so much, in fact, that I decided to put it on the calendar. How often? Once a month for like indefinitely. So, yeah, I know that there's only a few people watching now, so I don't know who's watching yet, but thank you for sticking through to the end for tonight. I did have an ordering special for anybody if you needed any of the monthly kits or the kits for tonight. If you do place, yeah, congratulations, Kathy. Yay, you're coming on Monday to the team swap party. So you can definitely pick out, I'll have something for you. It'll be one of those things. So if you guys need any of the kits, just know I have 2 left from the monthly, and I also have 4 from the flowers class from tonight. So if you're looking to place an order and you want to get some free card kits, just make sure to use my host code. And it was down on the screen here the whole night. So all right, so thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for sticking through to the very end with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the cards tonight, and I look forward to stamping with you next Thursday. We're going to be putting the paper pumpkin together, which should be fun. Yay for mystery night, right, Julie? So, yeah, it's almost, I always have it set now for the fourth Monday of the month, until later in the year, and it's like the fourth Tuesday because Christmas gets in there. So, but yeah, all right, so lots of sunshine and hugs and happiness to you girls. Until next week, we'll see you in a week, and until then, I hope you have wonderful weekends and a wonderful week ahead. So, love you all. Bye.